Okay, first name?
Joe.
Problem, how long had you had it?
I had a torn labrum in my hip for about 12 years.
Now, what's that mean?
That means I was running and the cartilage in my hip ripped, so all of the fluid in there would not stay in there, and I had bone spurs. Doctor cleaned it out and said I would need a hip replacement. I was never going to run again, and I would still have pain.
Okay.
And you put my feet together, my leg grew about half an inch, and the pain generally went away that I had then. But now I don't have the clicking, I don't have the popping. I can run, ski, play with my kids.
Now, that sounds like a miracle to me, right? So here we have a healing, here we have a miracle. Now, with regards to ministering healing, I have a philosophy, this is very important. If people get healed by Jesus, you don't take the credit. If they don't get healed, you don't take the blame. It's not your success or your failure. This is why. This is why. If it's your success or your failure, your ego is in it. And it's to some degree, you're in God's way. Number two, when you pray for people, for example, and they don't get healed, you have to remember this. Prayers do not have a shelf life. They stay before the throne until they're answered. Acts 10, the angel comes to Cornelius and says, you're giving to the poor and your prayers have come up for a memorial. That means they're remembered. Jesus said, don't you say there's 4 months to harvest? Jesus said to his apostles, I sent you to reap where others have sowed. You've entered into their labors. Herein is that proverb fulfilled. One sows and another reaps. They rejoice together. So sometimes what you're doing when you pray for somebody and they don't get healed, you're sowing for their healing. Look at somebody and say, no prayers are wasted. And so let's say you come along and you pray for somebody who's been prayed for 25 times, and they get healed. It isn't because you're God's man of faith and power. It's just that your prayer was the icing upon a cake that a whole bunch of people baked. Look at somebody and say, there's no room for ego here. To make the point, I learned this in New York with a woman who had a dead eye. It was gray. It was totally blind. We have it on film. And Jesus heals her. She goes, I can see, I can see, I can see. She counts fingers. Here's the deal, Assembly of God Church. 2 women in that church got together, and they decided to fast for 21 days for her to be healed. On film, I take my happy self up there and I act like R.W. Shambach. You believe God's going to heal you right now? Yes. You blind devil, come out. I command that eye to see. The eye that's gray turns brown, and she could see out of it. But it wasn't my prayer. It was those 2 ladies who sacrificed food for 21 days for their sister. Look at somebody say, all you got to do is just play your part. Let's give Jesus a hand clap. Thank you, brother.